This Thursday, the United States House of Representatives passed the Small Business Tax and Jobs Act. Congress passed the measure hoping to relieve business owners' tax burdens and hopefully stimulate job growth. CRI reporter Patrick Boberg met with one Oskaloosa business owner to see how this new tax measure could impact the local economy.
Than Mott is a man who knows the theater business. He sold concessions, threaded projectors, managed 5 theaters at once, and a little under a year ago, he purchased Oskaloosa's Penn Center Theater, making him a small business owner, something he finds far more rewarding than running someone else's business.
As far as paying the bills, it's always nice to have someone else do it for you, but when it comes to working with people, I actually get to know them a little better, and it seems like you're able to motivate them more to get more out of them.
Still, as a theater owner, Than is responsible for making the tough decisions, such as hirings, repairs, and improvements. However, when the economy is rough, some of those decisions have to wait.
The bathrooms here are in sorry shape. I mean, they're functional and everything, but they need to be improved. I do need new seats. Cup holders would be a much needed improvement. It's hard, you know, just because the money isn't there. You want to try and keep the lights on as best you can, pay the employees and whatnot.
The U.S. Congress has heard the cries of business owners similar to Than and put together a plan to both help them out and hopefully jumpstart the economy with a small business tax credit. Initially proposed as a tax credit to help small businesses cover the cost of the new healthcare mandates, this new tax act is intended to provide small business owners with tax write-offs for not only healthcare costs, but also purchasing new business equipment, property purchase and upkeep, and providing banks with $30 billion of government funds specifically meant for small business loans. So hopefully, with tax relief coming soon to the Penn Center Theater, Than can afford to sit back and reflect on his first year of small business ownership and what he's truly anxiously waiting for.
It's been a good experience so far, except for, you know, obviously this time of year when the budget's a little tight, but there's some good movies coming up. Harry Potter, the new Narnia, all those are going to be actually pretty good. So.
Another heated election issue this year involves the vote to retain 3 Iowa Supreme Court judges. The attention comes from a 2009 Iowa Supreme Court ruling that a state law prohibiting same-sex couples from marrying violated the state's constitution. 2 issues rising out of this retention vote are, first, whether the judges should be retained, and second, whether pastors who represent nonprofits in the form of their churches can preach politics from the pulpit.
My objectives are simply to inform people of the issues and give a biblical worldview concerning every issue.
Pastor Bill Tweed of Jubilee Family Church preaches every week on issues and how Christians should see them. However, he says he doesn't use the pulpit to make endorsements.
I never have mentioned a name as far as a pastor. In my private life as a citizen, I'll tell you who I'm voting for. I'll tell you everything that I'm standing for and believe.
While Pastor Tweed may be withholding political endorsements from his Sunday sermons, there are legal issues that keep members of the clergy from being completely forthright.
When a pastor stands at his or her pulpit and tells their congregation how they should vote, that violates the tax status as agreed to when they sign the documents to become a tax-exempt organization.
Well aware of the consequences, Pastor Tweed reluctantly follows the law.
We have followed those guidelines. We do not believe they're constitutional.
Still, one issue that has made Pastor Tweed particularly vocal this year is the Supreme Court ruling which found an Iowa law prohibiting same-sex marriage unconstitutional. That decision was in stark contrast to both his political and religious beliefs.
The judges have a very misguided notion of their role. They've overstepped the original intent of our Constitution. When the people of Iowa overwhelmingly want to amend their Constitution to define marriage as being between one man and one woman, and 7 men in robes say, we're not going to allow you to do that, we've stepped over a line.
Across the state, religious leaders are starting to profess similar views to Pastor Tweed, and their opposition, such as Interfaith Alliance of Iowa, are worried these views may mislead voters on the nonpartisan stance the courts are supposed to hold.
This is a matter of civil law and our state constitution, and in that constitution, it talks about that all people should be treated equally under the law, and so it's important that people recognize that the Supreme Court made a decision based on constitutional law, and that is their job.
With only a handful of days remaining before Iowan voters decide the fate of these three judges, both sides believe if their stance prevails, we will all have learned something from it. If the judges are retained,
I think what it will say is that the voters of Iowa understand that they do want courts that are fair and impartial, and that they do understand the role of the courts within our democracy.
or if the judges are removed from the bench.
I believe this, it sends a message that the people do have a recourse.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for western Mahaska County.
This was not a drill. Just as Severe Weather Awareness Week arrived, so did the weather. Tornado, thunderstorm, and flash flood warnings are reminding the entire state that winter can be bad, but spring has the potential to be much worse.
Anytime you get a tornado, that could be pretty devastating, and it could take away your home, whereas winter weather, you're just, snowed in. So.
When severe weather appears to be heading Mahaska County's way, the Oskaloosa Police Dispatch is the first to know.
When we go under a warning, we get the teletype from the National Weather Service, and then we know that just to page out the information.
While the 911 center is busy alerting everyone from schools across the county to local media such as KBOE, the fire department can assist by setting off the tornado sirens. And those sirens mean only one thing.
If the sirens are going off, there's either a tornado coming or a strong possibility of a tornado coming. So you need to get to the lowest part of your residence or wherever you're at, I guess.
Seeking shelter is something most people know, and Jamey Robinson believes Severe Weather Awareness Week is a good time to remind people that there are other basic things that can help them be prepared.
Make sure that you have supplies in your home, so if something were to happen, if the water were to get shut down, the electric were to get shut down, make sure that you have supplies that you can take care of yourself and your family, your pets.
Along with the essentials, a severe weather radio will alert you to weather warnings at the same time as the 911 center.
Basically, when the National Weather Service issues a warning or watch, it puts out the signal to those radios and actually sets off a tone. So you'll actually get a tone at home saying that there has been a warning or a watch issued.
So while spring may be celebrated for the fair temperatures and blue skies, remember there is a dangerous side of the season you need to be prepared for. For CRI Weekly News, I'm Patrick Boberg.
The nation's second largest movie rental business has gone out of business. For months, movie gallery franchises across the country have been shutting their doors for good, including the movie gallery here in Oskaloosa. The company said its storefront business model couldn't compete with today's online entertainment options. With the world of e-commerce raking in more than $215 billion globally a year, CRI reporter Patrick Boberg looked into what other Oskaloosa stores face in online competition.
This past Tuesday, Oskaloosa's movie gallery closed up shop along with the entire nationwide movie gallery franchise. In recent years, the company battled 2 bankruptcies and an explosion of online entertainment options. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Oskaloosa store was surrounded by the less expensive movie rental option, Redbox. It really boils down to money and time. Why get in my car, drive to the video store, and search for a movie it may not even have when I can reserve the film I want online and pick it up from the Redbox for $1 on my way home? Movie gallery may be the most recent to fall, but others are at risk. Businesses all over town have online competitors. Why visit the Book Vault when you can pre-order a book through Amazon.com and have it delivered to your door? Or wade through the aisles of Brown Shoe Fit Company when you could stay at home and surf Zappos.com? Even colleges such as William Penn are susceptible when you can earn a degree through University of Phoenix Online. With all these armchair options, why would anyone step foot inside a store?
You can touch and feel what you're wanting to buy. You can try it on. You can match up colors. You're local, so if you have a return to make, if it doesn't match what you bought it for, it's not a big hassle to come return it as opposed to shipping it back and forth. It's just hands-on experiences.
So there are reasons to visit a store. However, Patti's argument doesn't necessarily apply to, say, a movie rental business. Movie gallery may have been undercut by such e-service businesses as Netflix and Redbox, but that doesn't mean that all brick-and-mortar business will meet the same fate. Be it pride of supporting local business or the need for one-on-one customer service, some things trump the ease of the online shopping experience. And sometimes you can't find a realistic replacement for a shopping excursion. For CRI Weekly News, I'm Patrick Boberg.